Why you aren't lucky yet, the corridor principle explained. Have you ever looked at someone who seems wildly successful, someone who appears to have it all, and thought they just got lucky? It's a comforting explanation, isn't it? A soft place to land when things in your own life feel stubborn or slow. When we tell ourselves that the system is rigged, that wealth only comes from knowing the right people or being born into the right situation, it gives us permission to stay exactly where we are. It removes responsibility. And honestly, that's why the idea of luck is so seductive. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The people who look the luckiest are rarely lucky at all. They're operating inside a very deliberate psychological and mathematical framework. One where luck isn't random, but engineered. Welcome back to Quiet Wealth. I'm Amara, and if you're new here, this channel isn't about flashy promises or overnight success. We talk about the long game. The kind of wealth that compounds quietly and doesn't need to shout to be felt. And before we go further, a quick reminder, this is for educational purposes only. I'm not giving you financial advice. Think of this as a strategic conversation about how opportunity actually works in the real world. Today, I'm going to be a little direct with you, because in 2026, waiting has become expensive. We need to dismantle the idea that wealth is something you stumble into and replace it with something far more powerful, understanding how to systematically increase your chances. One of the biggest traps keeping people stuck is the waiting game. Most people are waiting for permission. Waiting for the economy to improve. Waiting to be noticed at work. Waiting for the right time to start investing or building something of their own. But the people who build serious wealth understand something that's hard to accept at first: no one is coming. There is no white knight. No perfect policy. No future moment where everything suddenly aligns. If your life is going to become uncommon in any way, it will be because you made it so. While most people wait for their ship to come in, the wealthy build their own, slowly, deliberately, plank by plank. Wealth is an inside job. Luck doesn't knock on doors that are sealed shut by passivity. This is where one idea changes everything. It's called the corridor principle. A professor named Ronstadt spent 12 years studying why some people went on to build extraordinary success while others didn't. Intelligence didn't matter. Grades didn't matter. Background didn't matter. The difference was action. The people who succeeded were willing to start things without guarantees. And once they did, something interesting happened. They entered what he described as a corridor of time where new opportunities began to reveal themselves, but only after they were already moving. Imagine standing still in a dark hallway. You can't see the doors ahead because the lights aren't on yet. But the moment you start walking, motion sensors kick in. Doors appear. Exits reveal themselves. Most people refuse to take the first step until they can see the entire hallway. But the doors don't light up until you're already in motion. That's why starting something small, messy, imperfect, changes how the world responds to you. You notice information you never saw before. You meet people you would never have crossed paths with. Opportunities that were always there suddenly become visible. Luck doesn't appear before action. It appears because of it. Let's pause here for a second. If you're watching this and thinking, but what if I make the wrong move? That's normal. We're conditioned to believe that every step must be perfectly calculated. But in reality, the first step is rarely the one that makes or breaks you. It's the momentum that matters. Think about the times in your life when you took a chance. Maybe you applied for a job you weren't sure you'd get, or you reached out to someone you admired. Even if it didn't work out exactly as planned, didn't it lead to something else? Maybe a new connection, a new idea, or a lesson you couldn't have learned any other way. Now here's where the math comes in. Once you're moving, luck begins to compound through something called positive optionality. In simple terms, every attempt you make exposes you to upside you couldn't have predicted. Most people concentrate all their energy into one narrow path. One job. One income stream. One plan. And when it doesn't work, they assume they're unlucky. But people who build wealth think probabilistically. You've heard the statistic, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. A scarcity mindset hears that and backs away. A wealth mindset hears that and thinks, so I just need enough attempts. Failure isn't a verdict. It's data. Every calculated shot you take, launching a small project, pitching an idea, starting a side venture, increases the surface area where luck can land. The people who appear lucky are simply the people who took more swings. Let me give you a real-world example. Think about someone like Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She didn't wait for the perfect business plan or the perfect timing. She started with an idea, made prototypes herself, and pitched her product to anyone who would listen. Most people said no, but she kept going, and eventually, one yes changed everything. Her story isn't about luck, it's about creating enough chances for luck to find her. And here's something most people miss. Luck usually arrives through other people. Which means generosity and trust aren't just moral choices, they're strategic ones. When you hoard ideas, guard knowledge, and operate from scarcity, you become a closed circuit. Nothing flows in. But when you share freely, help without keeping score, and build a reputation for integrity, people feel safe bringing opportunities to you. Trust is the conductor. Luck flows through people who are trusted. Your name gets mentioned in rooms you're not in. Doors open quietly. In high-stakes environments like business and finance, reputation is one of the most valuable assets you'll ever own. And finally, none of this works if you stay invisible. The spotlight effect convinces us everyone is watching, judging, and waiting for us to fail. In reality, most people are too busy thinking about themselves to notice. Visibility multiplies luck. You have to talk about what you're building. Share the journey. Let people know where you're headed, even if it isn't perfectly polished yet. Perfectionism isn't refinement. It's procrastination in a tailored suit. Quiet wealth doesn't mean hiding. It means offering value without needing applause. So, if you're sitting there thinking, but I'm not ready, remember, nobody ever feels completely ready. The people you admire didn't wait until they had all the answers. They started, learned, adjusted, and grew along the way. The world rewards those who are visible, generous, and in motion. Now, let's get practical for a moment. If you're wondering how to actually step into this corridor, start by picking something small and actionable. Maybe it's reaching out to someone in your industry, sharing your work online, or starting a side project you've been thinking about. Don't wait for the perfect conditions, they rarely arrive. The act of starting is what triggers the corridor effect. And here's another tip: document your journey. Even if you feel like you're fumbling, share what you're learning. People connect with authenticity, not perfection. You'll be surprised how many opportunities come from simply being visible and honest about your process. If you're worried about failure, remember that every setback is just feedback. It's a sign you're in motion, and that's where luck finds you. The more you try, the more you learn, and the more you expose yourself to positive surprises. I want you to think about your own life right now. What's one step you could take this week to expand your luck surface area? Maybe it's sending an email, applying for a role, starting a blog, or even just telling someone about your goals. Write it down, commit to it, and let me know in the comments. I read every single one. When you stop waiting, step into the corridor, take more calculated shots, give generously, and allow yourself to be seen, success stops feeling random. It starts becoming inevitable. This isn't about winning a lottery. It's about stacking the odds until success becomes a mathematical certainty. And it all starts with one step forward. If this shifted how you think about luck, success, or waiting, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and tell me one shot you're going to take this week to expand your luck surface area. Have a brilliant week, and I'll see you in the next one.